Nice to see you.
See you.
The more you watched last week's decision in terms of VAR, did the worse it get, or could you have more understanding and maybe Johnny Evans had a point being part of the centre-back club?
It kind of, from the first moment I saw it, it didn't get much better from my personal opinion, but we have to take the decision as it is, and hopefully over the course of the season we'll get a couple of decisions ourselves. So it's one of them. I think on the field decision was what it was, and I didn't personally see any clear and obvious sort of error, but it's one of them.
But frustrating when you've gone and get there.
Of course,
really in your own mind, you've got a really good point.
Yeah, we worked really hard. It's a tough place to go, and obviously come away thinking a point would have been a great result for us. Another point on the road would have been fantastic, and disappointment, but we're still positive with the performance we had, and against a good Leicester side that are going really well.
It's opened up the whole debate about referees not using the monitors in the stadium, which kind of never happened. It was again mentioned on Sunday at Old Trafford. Has that got to happen, or is that just kind of?
I think potentially in them decisions, as a captain, I didn't know what the decision was sort of being. Was he offside, or from where I was stood, it could have been either or. And I think if I had a chance to go and speak to the referee and ask him to go look at it, if I knew what he was potentially looking at, I think it may have been different if he'd have seen it and stuck with his decision. But it's one of them. They don't want to slow the game down too much, I think, and obviously they want trust in the people who are watching it, their colleagues, I guess, watching on the fifth official or the VAR, and obviously they have trust in that, and he went with that decision. So
is the whole system going to work itself out though, so you can trust it? Yeah,
definitely. You want that trust, and you want it to work in favour of the good of the game, and that's ultimately what it's there for, and you don't want it intruding too much, I guess, and you want sort of the referees to be able to referee the game themselves.
In terms of the squad and going forward into a Chelsea game, how impressed have you been with the mentality? We talk about that a lot here, and you've been here long enough to know the mentality, but people criticised it and questioned it last season, then you responded, but the manager's mentioned it being even stronger this season. Yeah,
I think so. I think from the minute we came back from pre-season, everyone was fit and sharp and looking like they were ready to really go, and we've started the season well, and something to build on, and hopefully like last year we can get stronger and stronger, and be in a really positive position. But it's early days, and we just want to carry on sort of with that mentality, with that performance that we've been playing with.
Is the secret to that real competition for places, because you've got it across the park now?
Yeah, we've got good competition for places. Everyone's training really well, and we saw two lads come in at the weekend do really well, and I think definitely the lads that are coming in, going out of the team, and there's a good real competition. I think that's something that we've missed a little bit sometimes. We've had a steady 11 and maybe a few lads that will come in and out, but now we've got a really good squad, and everyone's competing for the places, I guess.
As a club, you've got better results at Stamford Bridge than you have at Turf Moor against Chelsea. What do you make of them under Frank Lampard? How are they different?
They're going well. They're on a really good run. Some good young talent mixed with a few older heads, experienced lads, which is a good blend, and it's always good to see young English boys like doing well and thriving in the Premier League. So they've got a bit mix of young enthusiasm, experience, and I'd say they're going well at the minute, and hopefully we'll be able to stop that, but we'll have our job on our hands, and it'll be a really good challenge.
And you mentioned the start of the season. What was one of the things you kind of decided on, or tried to decide on, making Turf Moor that proper fortress? Because bar Liverpool, 3 wins and 3 clean sheets.
I think you always want that. Any home team would say they want make their home ground a tough place to come. Over the years we've managed to do that. Obviously last year we slackened a little bit, but I think we're back to playing well at home, and the team's coming in, they're in for a real tough game.
If I'd have asked Frank Lampard when he was 30 years old if he wanted to be a manager, he probably would have been rude or very politely.
You're not going to ask me, are you?
Does it cross your mind? Or I'll ask it a different way, perhaps. Who in your dressing room would make a good manager then, if you're not going
to? No, obviously it's something I think a lot of players have in their mind. Towards this age, I guess, and I think something that I may look at in the future. Obviously, I have to wait and see when I got to it. But there's a few lads that might like a crack at it. But I couldn't name any names, to be honest with you. But I'm sure there'll be a few that will be going through the badges and things like that, and doing that, and potentially looking at the managerial role as something they might want to do in the future.
And just a final point from me, at risk of putting you in a bad mood, but every time England's mentioned and every time England's played, your name is mentioned, and the manager said some great things about you. You're consistent, you played without injury for an awful long time. Do you wonder if that bus will come calling?
I mean, I just want to keep playing well and keep doing well, and if people are talking and I'm doing something right, but it's up to who's in charge and the type of players he wants, and you can't do anything about it. I'm not frustrated about it anymore. I used to be when I was a bit younger, I think, and playing well, and but no, I think I'm quite at ease with it. I think if it happens, and ultimately it's the dream really to play for your country, but I'm comfortable and playing well in the Premier League, and I want to do well for this club ultimately. And like I say, whatever happens will happen, and it would be a dream. But that's if it comes, it comes.
The compliments aren't bad to hear, though, are they?
No, exactly. Yeah, the fact that you're asking the question is nice, and 5 years ago or something like that, I wouldn't have expected it. So I've been playing well in the Premier League for a while now, and I want to keep doing that and keep knocking at the door, keep having these questions asked me maybe, and you never know what might happen. Thank you.
Just going back to Chelsea, what have you made of Frank's start in management?
He's doing a great job. Obviously, they've had troubles at Chelsea with the transfer embargo, and he's had to adapt and overcome some challenges, and that's all you can ask of a manager. And I think he's done a fantastic job at the minute.
And you've got a tight-knit group of players here. Obviously that band you mentioned has probably made the same at Chelsea, but the young players that are coming through are really being given their chance, but they're impressing, aren't they? Yeah,
exactly, and it's great to see that the young lads are doing well and coming into the Premier League. There's a lot of pressure on them at a big club like that, so it'll be a great experience for them going into the future to be able to play these games, deal with the expectancy that the fans have and everyone around has of a club like Chelsea. So these lads are getting the chance, and you want to see them take it, and you want to see them do well, for country, for the club, and it's exciting to see.
You've had a much better start this season than last season, of course. How much does that help your belief when you're going into especially big fixtures? We're always strong at home. Against the big teams, it's a good challenge for us, and we want to make it a tough game for them. I think they'll be expecting a tough game at our place. So we don't want to disappoint them, and want to make it as difficult a place as possible for any team to come, really. Thank you.
Afternoon, Ben.
Hello.
Next week, I think, is the Gaffer's 7-year anniversary here. Obviously, he's had a huge impact on the club. You're one of the, I think, 2 players who predates him. Just what sort of an impact do you think he's had on Burnley and on yourself in general?
I've been asked this question a lot, really.
Sorry.
You can see it around the club, around the training ground itself. I think the fact we've been able to do this with the training ground has been due down to the fact that the success we've had over the past few years, and the success on the pitch has rubbed off on the club. It's rubbed off on the town, the community work and everything like that. So it reverberates around the whole town, really, how well this club does, and everyone sort of benefits from it.
Can you remember the first sort of day you came in and your first meeting with him, and your sort of first impressions? Yeah, I remember the first meeting, the team meeting we had with him. And it was really positive, and definitely the first few weeks were positive in training, and you could see he definitely had a sort of plan and a mindset of a good mindset that he wanted to rub off on the lads. Was that as much as anything sort of mentally getting that positivity into everyone and saying, why can't we go and win the promotion? Or the positivity, but the professionalism, the way he wanted people to work, and I think he had a sort of a vision for how he wanted things to go. And obviously it took a few months. It probably took half a season to sort of get right, and then once he had a pre-season and sort of we knew what he was about, it all sort of fit into place that first season. We sort of went on from there. And just lastly for me, obviously you were playing at left back a little bit as well, weren't you, in the early days? Just how has he sort of improved you as a defender and as a player, obviously, at centre half? I think improvement definitely. I've had that experience. He's given me that time to grow as a player, develop as a player as well, which has been a real big help for me. I've played a lot of games. He's put a lot of trust in me, and obviously being a coach training defensively, he's done a bit of work with us. So. But I think that experience of being able to play in games and the fact that we've been sort of competitive in every sort of season we've had, going into the Premier League and playing at the top of the Championship, having that different kind of pressure and environment, all bodes well for it did bode well for my future, for sure. Thanks. Thank you.
From the back, broadcast wise, no, all done. Thank you. Cameras off. Thank you.